Hey everyone, it's Roosta. Just wanted to make another quick tutorial, this one for Proudclad 2. So this is one of the hardest bosses to learn in the run, just because it's really hard to understand the connection between your inputs and the results that actually happen in the fight. So there's so much that can happen in this fight that I really can't go into every single possibility in this, in a single tutorial video, but what I can do is try and explain sort of the most important points of the timing. And the timing is really what makes this makes this fight difficult. Is the timing of paradigm shifts and interrupting and launching. So the idea is we're going to want to time our paradigm shifts to keep him interrupted. Basically, we're using Cold Blood to chain him while staggered and interrupt him, and then we're going to use paradigm shifts to time Snow's launches so that he can't actually get moves off. So let's sort of see what it looks like. So there's a window when you can shift and allow Snow to get his attacks off, but it depends on what Snow is actually doing. So what I like to do is I like to watch Snow's legs during the Cold Blood animation, and you can sort of judge when is a good time to shift, but you also have to pay attention to Snow, because if Snow is in the middle of a string when you want to actually do this shift, what's going to happen is you're going to animation cancel Snow. And if you animation cancel Snow, then he won't do his ready animation, and that changes the timing. So typically, you can use this timing without worrying about Snow's ready animation, or without worrying about Snow animation canceling, but if he is doing a string, you're going to want to delay it. So let's see. Okay, so Snow's string is starting right, he started before my Cold Blood even started, and so Cold Blood takes a lot longer than one of Snow's strings, so we're going to be able to shift when, we're going to shift in the window I mentioned, where we watch Snow's ready animation, and then he will attack Proudclad after he's finished with his ready animation. So I'm going to go into Relentless. There's two different ways to start the fight. One of them goes into Aggression, one of them goes into Relentless. I prefer this one, so this is what I'm going to show in the video. But you can see, there's another way I'll try and show after, but I typically mess it up, so hopefully. So let's see. Snow's done. He's going to jump back, and his ATB is going to start charging. But what we can do is watch Snow, or watch Saz. He puts his right leg up, and it's bent, and then that is when the window starts for shifting to interrupt Proudclad after Cold Blood is finished. And then when he puts his other leg up, that's around when the window ends. Depends on exactly where Snow is, because after his run animation, if he's far away, he might have to run in. If you don't get an ATB refresh and Snow just finished his string, it might take time for his ATB to charge. Lots of little factors in here, but typically if you shift in that window, you'll be fine. So there's his right leg going up. That's the window has started, and I'll shift right when his other leg goes up, closer to the end of the window, so we can see Snow connect his launch right before Proudclad gets his move. So there you go. You keep him interrupted and get him launched. Now, the two different ways of doing this, if you're in Aggression, you can you don't shift, you're in Aggression, and then after the Cold Blood finishes, you will use an arrow and then go into Cerberus, but I'm going to do the other method, which is more similar to what happens in the second half of the fight, and so I'm going to shift from Relentless to Aggression when Snow's string is finished. Now I can see he's about to start falling, so his string is done, so I go into Aggression. Now this is nice because it lines up Snow and Vanille's strings, and it lets Proudclad fall, which actually is good for doing damage, because when he's on the ground, he's interrupted by Cold Blood, and Snow doesn't have to jump to do damage, so he does more attacks more quickly when Proudclad's on the ground. So this is actually intentional. I'll do the same thing in the second phase, because, like I mentioned, it lets you get more damage in, so it's actually good. And we'll get to practice again doing the timing of shifting. So I'm going to Cerberus next. Now I'm halfway through my Cold Blood animation, and Snow's string hasn't started, so that means his string will be done around the end of Cold Blood, which means I can actually animation cancel and not worry about the other timing. So 1, 2, see the window started, but Snow's on his second attack. So if I shifted now, I would lose 3 Snow attacks. So 4, 5, shift, animation cancel, and launch. There you go. So that time I was looking at Snow, not Saz. I could have shifted, but I would have missed out on damage. So that's why you have to be able to pay attention to both at the same time. It's easy to get one right, but mess up the other. Now the trick you can do is you can do attack, blitz, and then cancel the blitz just to get interruption. Now the number you have to look out for is he has 3.57 million, or sorry, 3.57 million. When he's at 2.14 million HP is when he deactivates limiters, and so he I look for a 2-1-4. If he's below 2-1-4, that means he's in the window where he's gonna he's gonna do his move to start the second half of the fight. So attack blitz buffer. So he's at 119, which is pretty high. Around 120 or so is where you want to be. Vanille will add about 15% chain each string on her own. So that's rough. It depends on a lot of things, conditional modifiers, where everyone's HP is, and so on. So if you're too high, then 2 Vanille strings will stagger him, which is not what you want, because if he does it does a physical, he does a normal attack, and then he does Oneric Maelstrom, she'll stagger him before the Maelstrom, which you do not want. You do not want to stagger him before Maelstrom. So let's see what move we get. So we're going to get the limiters. So 120 is actually good, so I'm just going to wait. Prep Cold Blood. So we get a physical. Now, if he does another attack after this, we're going to try and stagger him before Oneric, which I said we don't want to do, but we don't want to stagger him while Oneric's happening. Sorry. So if he does another attack, then we'll try and stagger him. If he does Oneric, we're going to try and renew. So let's see what he does. So he does Oneric, so we have to renew. So when he starts shooting the missiles, it's usually a good time. Vanille gets launched, Snow doesn't, so I have time for a spell here. I'm going to Cold Blood. I got interrupted, which is bad. But now this is bad that he got interrupted. But we can try and show the timing anyway. I'm probably not going to be able to kill him because of stagger duration. But let's see. So before we were looking at Snow or Saz's legs, which we can do. I'll mention right now that there's one little problem that sometimes happens, which is that if a Muon Blaster gets off, you might not be able to see Saz's legs, so you kind of have to pay attention to what the sound of Cold Blood is like to know when the window starts. But this animation is going to end, and we should be able to see Saz's legs. The other thing that's different here is that Snow is not attacking. If Snow is attacking, then we'll know when we're going to animation cancel him, or whether we're going to see his ready animation. Here he's in Sentinel, which means he's going to be doing Steel Guards. So we have to pay attention to that. So if he's in the middle of a Steel Guard and you shift, he'll animation cancel. And so when his Steel Guard ends, he'll just get out of Steel Guard, run up and start launching. If his Steel Guards are over and he starts backing up because his string of Steel Guards is done, then when you shift, he'll do his ready animation. And so the timing window is the same. So the timing window should usually be the same here. But you don't want to delay too long and have him Steel Guard right when you're about to shift, because then he'll just stand there and he won't launch him. So let's see. So I heard that I was at the point of the animation, and he just did Steel Guard, just like I said. So yeah, get another move off. So this is really bad. So I'm just gonna. I guess I'll just show. So a similar timing can be used here, but then no, yeah, I failed. So that was bad because the late Oneric, I got interrupted by the Muon Blaster after Oneric. I should have just gotten that Cold Blood off, so I was just slow with my inputs there. But let's try again. I can still show the first phase before going to the second. So attack blitz, shift to Tri Disaster. So Snow is still earlier. Window open. Snow string is done. Two, three, 4, 5. Animation cancel. So now when he falls to the ground, if you look at him, he's going to do his ready animation. There you go. But he does that ready animation when his ATB is charging, so it's okay. It doesn't affect the timing. 214, so he's going to deactivate limiters. Let's start shooting so I can renew. So Vanilla usually, like I said, usually does around 15%, so I try and sneak in one spell here to do a little bit more. I like to wait for Vanilla's string to start, and then we're going to stagger him. So here we're seeing the animation. Window. Launch. Now this is what the fight should look like. So we're doing the same pattern for the second half, and that's why I like doing the fight this way. When you do it with the arrow, you do less damage, and so you might need some blitzes to actually reach the threshold. But this way, you're pretty much always guaranteed to get it. So Snow's about to fall because his string's done, so he shift to aggression. As I mentioned, this lines up his string with Vanille's string so that Proudclad will fall, which means Snow can do more damage to him. So we lock him on the ground. So Snow jumped here. When Snow jumps like this, I'm glad this happened because I would have totally forgotten to mention. When Snow jumps like this, you can't animation cancel him, so you have to use the timing where Saz jumps. Or where Saz puts his leg up. So leg up. So around now is when you want to go to aggression to try and stagger extend, or you could just go for the kill like that, which that is basically what the fight should look like when it's going well. It's 5 blitzes and it should just barely be enough to kill him. Our stats are lower than they used to be. Now Vanille used to have the Pearl Wing Staff, which actually gave a non-trivial boost to her damage in this fight. And you could also add more sword marks, like I think Mr. Swansig's going to use 2 sorcerer marks here and the diamond bangle. So you get actually a non-trivial amount of damage here, but otherwise it's the same. And yeah, so I'll show the fight one more time, hopefully get some different timings, and I'll also show the stagger extend. But that's really what you got to look for, is how to time Saz's leg movement in the animation of Cold Blood. And once you get used to it, you'll be able to hear the points in the animation when that happens. So if your camera's messed up because you're looking at a Muon Blaster, and paying attention to where Snow is in his ready animation, or in his animation, so you know whether you're going to cancel his ready animation or whether you're going to get that, and how that affects the timing of him launching. But yeah, once you get that timing down, there's different scenarios for whether you get Oniric first, whether you get an attack first, so on and so forth. And so it definitely takes some practice. In my experience, getting Oniric first is the best scenario. You get watch out for that. You get through the Oniric and you get to stagger him as soon as possible. When you don't get the Oniric, you don't use the Renew, and sometimes Snow can be left with yellow HP, which means you won't have Adrenaline, blah blah blah, it sucks. So let's see one more time. Actually, since I'm showing again, I might as well try and show the other pattern, but I'm not very good at it. Nope. Sorry, my computer lags when I'm trying to record, so my inputs are much less smooth. It is interesting, though, that he's more dangerous when he's on the ground. He has an aerial mode where he's typically less dangerous. Like, he charges in the air to land on the ground. So Snow's interrupted here. Oh, this is actually great to show. Snow got interrupted by this Muon Blaster, which means his string's going to come later. Which means I'm going to want to cancel his ready animation to get him to launch. So watch his strings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now he launches with no animation. Yeah, repeat. Sorry, I'm not used to this pattern. So now this Cold Blood keeps him in the air. Vanille does her string. You arrow to keep him in the air. That keeps him launched for longer. And now he's stuck. In my experience, there's more of a danger of under-damaging the first phase like this, which you could make up for with blitzes, but I can tell by his position, he's so high in the air, my blitzes wouldn't even hit. Then you're going to be whiffing blitzes, but yeah, see, we're actually not going to... Yeah, we didn't even trigger limiters. That's why I don't like this pattern. There may be something big I'm missing about it, but in my experience, it's more of a danger. Especially, like I mentioned, Vanille's stats are lower. That's what it looks like. And if he doesn't go too high, you can blitz to do extra damage. But I can tell you right now that that would not have worked. That's why I stick to the pattern I showed first. You don't have to mess with blitzes, which is very nice. It is a bit of a shame that the fight kind of relies on blitzes when blitzes don't consistently hit him. Two attacks is pretty unusual. So there, I said the window started when his one leg goes up, and the other one, and like it ends when his other leg goes up. There, I did the shift before Snow jumped back. So Snow jumped back, did his red animation, and that takes a little bit longer. So that's why it's good that I actually hit the beginning of the window, because I think if I went later, I would have gotten this. Actually, I didn't even get it despite that. And that's another thing is sometimes Snow just won't launch, so you do have to get the hang of improvising, which looks like I messed up. Oh no. I'm not going to be green.
Old man, new tricks.
Big whiff. So he's lower now, which means my blitzes are working. I think it's Snow green. We just got it, so we're good. Physical. Neon Blaster. So this is scary because there's a chance I don't stagger him before Oneric or Aerial. Actually, this could be good. Let's see. This is officially in interesting territory. So this is improvisation mode. I really want Adrenaline, so I'm doing that there. Snow String comes early, so I'm gonna have to use that window. Oh, I accidentally canceled his red animation there, and then he failed all the extra launches. So this is full not good fight. So I'm gonna do my damage boost here.
Old man, new tricks.
Snow did a panic attack. He did a single attack when his ATB was almost filled. If he did his full string, we probably would have killed him. I guess I'll mention really quick since it's a tutorial. When this happens, you just have to go into Solidarity, and then just wait until your HP is good. Now I have a little bit of a mental image here that I use. So Proudclad has really high chain resistance, so it takes a while to stagger him. It takes 2 or 3 strings to stagger him, and if you do stagger him, he's at so he's going to be taking 2.5 times damage when you actually stagger him. So if you stagger him and then Cold Blood, then you'll get into the good damage amounts, like 4 or 5x because of 400 or 500%. However, if you look at his letter, I look at the target above his HP bar, it takes about 3 strings to get through 2 letters in Cerberus. So there's like a letter and a half left, so it's low enough that I think it's better to just go into here and just do blitzes. So maybe 2 strings per letter, but he's almost down, so I'm gonna retry and show the fight one more time. But yeah, that would not have been that bad of a fight given how badly I messed up and had to sneak in a renew and blah blah blah. However, I will mention when you get that late renew, it's actually bad for Banner Snatch and Jabberwocky because you'll end the fight with less TP, which is a bit annoying. One of the problems is when you get all those moves. But that's really what you got to look out for, is where Snow is in his animations, when you have to shift at the end of Cold Blood to actually get the animation of Snow launching at the right time. So Snow's already jumped back, so shift, Snow runs up. Oh, I went to aggression instead of on this. Alright, we're doing the other pattern, boys. I'm gonna let him fall a little bit, so that more of my blitz hits. Blitzes are actually nicely timed to keep him in the air. I say shortly before failing to keep it in the air. Yeah, so we got it. Okay, this is what I consider to be the best. Wait for the Neil stream to start. Make sure you don't get interrupted before. That's what I was talking about, where you have to actually pay attention to the animations, or to the sounds, because I got like 3 Muon blasters there. Again, he didn't get launched, which is, you know, rare, but it's a tutorial, so what do you expect? And so, again, it's sort of improvisation. That was amazing. Snow missed 4 attacks in a row. Oh, I went to the wrong paradigm. Well, I was going to try an ATB side extend, but... Oh, we got it. So yeah, that was actually... I was just having so much fun watching Snow miss all of those attacks in a row. That was amazing. If he didn't fall down, he would have missed all 5 attacks, but he got the 4th one, or the 5th one. But yeah, knowing the timing, like, in your heart is important, because when things go wrong, when he doesn't get launched, when things get weird, when Snow is in weird places, you have to be prepared to find the right timing to actually launch him. So, this Muon Blaster always goes off, and so it just didn't do damage, so I think I'm going to get the animation again, which is why you have to be prepared to hear it. Yeah. See, I had to go that visually because of that Muon Blaster that still has got like the double animation. So you can't always just look at Saz's legs. Now the window for animation canceling Snow is pretty long. But this is probably my favorite fight in the game because it's so cool once you get the hang of the animations. Let's just kill him. It's important not to get locked into doing your animations at the wrong time, because getting this renew is huge. Because if you activate this renew and then get launched, it'll take Saz a long time to get that renew off, and then he'll get interrupted before his next string, and then you fall behind, and it just sucks. I'm looking at Snow now. Snow's going to start back. So Snow's done with his Steel Guard, which means his ATB is charging. His ATB is charging. If his finish is charging, he'll start a Steel Guard, and then I'll be screwed. So I have to shift when I see Saz's leg go up, but before Snow's ATB finishes charging. So I went a little bit early, and I still got the first hit, which is good. Snow string ends, so we can shift. Alright, this looks like it's going to be a good fight. The other advantage of doing the letting Proudclad fall is you get more damage from Snow, and it also means that he'll get launched to a shorter altitude, which means his blitzes are less likely to miss. Which is nice. And that timing. Normally Snow doesn't spin like an idiot like there. What are you doing, Snow?
How about this? Eat a Saz special.
There you go. That's Proudclad 2. So, Usually around 204 to 208 is what you get when you get the no stagger extend, and then you can add like 6 to 8 seconds on that if you stagger extend. It depends on how much extra HP you have when you stagger extend, because if you stagger extend early, then you might not spend all that time as, you know, time loss technically. But yeah, that's basically the idea, is just watch the cold blood animation and try and use that to kill him. Or keep him launched and interrupted. And as long as you're not getting too many hits, you should be good. Yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, post here, or we'll talk in the Discord. So, see you later.